Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Overlord here, and today I want to discuss the Battlefield Hardline beta and how the beta is overall compared to Battlefield 4. So whenever you first start playing Hardline, you will quickly notice that the time to kill has been reduced slightly, so that the gameplay is a lot faster paced and more chaotic compared to the other Battlefield titles. This also extends to the vehicles in-game. Now, they can be damaged by small arms fire, reducing their overall effectiveness, and this can mean that any well-organized squad can take down a chopper or a heavy vehicle with teamwork. This places a lot more emphasis on squads having to work together to achieve a goal whenever it involves a vehicle, whether they are attempting to take it out or are the ones in the vehicle at the time being. Now overall, I don't necessarily mind what they've done with the vehicles. It does place more of an emphasis on teamwork, and in order for a chopper or any other vehicle for that matter to be very effective, you do need good coercive teamwork. However, I feel that the infantry didn't necessarily need the debuff that they got with their health. I personally feel that the time to kill should have actually been expanded upon, because a lot of the problems that Battlefield 4 burden have carried over into Hardline, such as the horrible netcode, lots of rubber banding, and shots not registering. Now, I personally feel that if they are going to do something about the horrible netcode and a lot of the rubber banding that's been going on, then they should most definitely do it during the beta, because both these problems, which is the rubber banding and shots not registering, do affect both vehicles and players, but I personally feel that it affects the actual infantry a lot more than it does vehicles, and it's a lot more infuriating to have to deal with whenever you're running around on the ground. And considering the fact that the new game, Battlefield Hardline, is mainly going to be infantry based, this could really cripple the game. Since we've gotten some of the combat out of the way and how the game plays, at least for infantry and vehicles, I do want to discuss the maps. Now, the maps in the beta are Dust Bowl, Downtown, and Bank Job. Bank Job is a small bank with 3 floors with a multi-floor parking lot to the left of it and one road on each side of the bank. The multi-floor parking lot and roof are generally where snipers are perched and are actually very good ways to get around the enemy or suppress them. The first floor of the bank is cluttered with iron doors, desks, and furniture, and usually makes for a very chaotic firefight. This map is most likely going to be tailored to the smaller team game modes and the new heist game mode, which is usually what you're going to be playing. Dust Bowl is a small town out in the desert that has plenty of roaming room for helicopters, cars, and infantry. This is a very large map, either meant for large conquest, rush, or hotwire. It usually stays level, but there are a few buildings and spots on the map to the far left and right flanks that are generally good for sniping. And lastly, we have Downtown. This map is yet again another large map, but not quite as large as Dust Bowl. I personally feel it's made for 16v16, not 32v32. It has multiple roads for fast travel and shootouts in between player-controlled cars, as well as many multi-story buildings for snipers, lots of room for helicopters, and a destructible crane in the middle of the map. With the maps out of the way, I'm sure you're all wondering how the infantry combat and the gunplay in-game works. Almost all weapons and classes are good at least one thing, and each weapon has a very specific role to fill, as does each class, pushing the player to do a specific task within the team. The professional, for example, is a sniper who has access to snipers and designated marksman rifles and is very well suited for a support role, who either spots and wounds enemies, provides covering fire at longer ranges, or locks down a specific area with suppressive fire, making it harder to cross. The mechanic is usually used for a supportive role as well, but is also able to branch out into somewhat of an offensive role. He is armed with a repair tool, a very close range weapon such as a P90, and a grenade launcher. Now, the grenade launcher is mainly used for damaging small vehicles such as a helicopter or perhaps a car of some sort, and it can be used to burst down certain walls, break down a door, or clear out a room if he's all out of grenades. He's most likely to be found usually in the side of a vehicle repairing it or in the back of the squad. The operator is the assault class from Battlefield 4. He'll usually be found on the front lines or in the middle of the squad, set up healing people or suppressing the enemy with fire. Now, his primary weapons are assault rifles and then carbines like you find in Battlefield 4. And then finally we have the Enforcer. Now this guy is really oriented to close range combat, and he usually is the one dealing the most damage and resupplying teammates ammo when they're nearby. Now he'll usually be found using a shotgun or a battle rifle in game. So the classes out of the way, you guys kind of get a general idea of what's what. It's not necessarily changed all that much from Battlefield 4. However, it has changed significantly in the way that the battlefield works and how the game is played, because as I said earlier, the time to kill has been significantly reduced, and to be quite honest, it plays more like Call of Duty than any other Battlefield game. It's very random, very chaotic, and there's not necessarily any teamwork in game. Even if I do see teamwork, it's usually because I'm playing with a full squad of friends, and it's not random people actually helping me or doing anything for the team. I tend to run across more and more campers in-game, even when I'm playing on very large game modes, such as Conquest. Now, the kind of camping that I'm talking about isn't necessarily like people holding a building down or rooftop snipers. Those are relatively easy to take out, and that's all part of the game, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that, usually because it's a team or a squad working together to achieve a goal, whether it be to take out enemies or to hold that position. The problem that I have is I've seen many people just kind of sit in a corner and camp. And to be quite honest, the reason they do this is because the time to kill has been reduced significantly, henceforth they don't feel quite as strong. So I do see that being a very huge problem, especially since it slows down the game mode so much, and this game is supposed to be very fast paced and very infantry oriented, and if everyone's camping in a corner because they don't feel strong enough, the game just won't flow and it won't work right. What I suggest that they do is actually increase the time to kill to what it was slightly above Battlefield 4's, making people feel a little bit more tanky and a little bit more comfortable moving around, because the way that it is now, with its horrible netcode, its rubber banding, and all the problems that have carried over from Battlefield 4, and just the way the game is played and how chaotic it is, it really feels like an awful Call of Duty game. And I can see where a lot of the Battlefield fans are being really upset with this game. I mean, it happened with Halo 4. Halo 4 was essentially nothing but a Call of Duty with a Halo skin on it, and it's very infuriating to see your beloved game being transformed into something that it wasn't originally and being morphed into just this really generic first-person shooter and losing its identity. Now, that isn't to say that I have total disdain for this game. I really do enjoy some of the stuff that they've done, such as the ability to buy your weapons and some of the game modes in-game. Like, I really promptly enjoy how you can buy weapons and attachments with money that you earn in-game. This places more of an emphasis on doing well and trying to do well, and it really rewards better players with late-game weapons early on. And I really enjoy the game mode Hotwire. It's very chaotic, very fun, and something new and fresh. And originally, I thought that it was going to be really stupid, but running around and having those action-packed, really cheesy action movie moments, that was absolutely amazing, and I really promptly enjoyed it. And out of the whole time playing Battlefield Hardline, it had to be probably my favorite thing to do. So I really feel that stuff like that kind of needs to be expanded upon a little bit more. And to be quite honest, if this game really kind of sticks with that, I guess, motive of trying to have fun and not necessarily be a really competitive game or a, I guess, really hardcore Battlefield game, I can really see this game kind of sticking out as being the silly, more relaxed game of the Battlefield series, and I could really see them making more of these games. It's just they really kind of need to increase the time to kill and then try and iron out some more of the bugs that Battlefield 4 had, because as again, they're very prominent within this game, such as rubber banding and shots not registering. If they do that, I can really see this game being popular, and I would see a lot of people flocking to this game, and I would get rid of a lot of the stigma that this game is nothing more than another Battlefield 4 just with a different skin on it. Now, compared to Battlefield 4, I personally feel that this game has exceeded in some areas, but failed in a lot more. Now, I personally don't believe that this game is worth your $60. I personally think that it's roughly around, say, $50 or $40, but overall, I don't see this game lasting very long. I see a lot of people switching back to, say, Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3 even, because this game doesn't necessarily have very much to offer. If the game had a better hit registration, less rubber banding, and just a lot of problems that were in Battlefield 4 that were patched, then that would be perfectly a-okay. I could see this game absolutely skyrocketing, but it just shares a lot of the problems that Battlefield 4 does, and I personally find it to be a less enjoyable experience overall. So, I really think that it's up to personal opinion as to what you think about this game. Some people will enjoy the more chaotic experience, some people won't. But if you guys like this video, then please remember to comment, subscribe, and like this video. This is Overlord signing out, and I will see you guys next time.